About 12 months ago, I fell into one of the worst ruts that I've ever been in. And in this time, I was having straight sleepless nights. I'd just get out of bed at 5 a.m. the next day and start working again like nothing happened. I was always stressed every working hour. The issues in my life were all weighing down on me, and I felt like I had no control over anything. And it pushed me into this unmotivated, stale, stressed, weak state that I had so much struggle getting out of. I was constantly just down. My energy was down. No matter what I did, I felt like I just couldn't do it. And it really took a toll on me. And what's crazy about this is this has never been me as a person. 2 years ago, I was the type of person to be jumping out of bed 6 a.m, going to work, meditating, reading on a daily basis, never missed, working on my business 6 days a week. I was running at 10k every single weekend, training at the gym 3-4 times a week. I was getting my goals done. I was getting towards the person I wanted to be. I was building motivation. And I was just at it all the time, and I never run out of energy. And for me to get put into this person that feels like they've got no control and no motivation, I really had to get myself out of that situation, and it took me a long time. But in this video, these are some things that I used. These are some things that I brushed up on that pulled me out of that scenario. And if you're in an unmotivated state right now, if you follow these steps, 1 through 5, you are going to see some results. So let's get straight into step 1. Number 1, think about who wronged you. When I say this, I'm not saying think of the person that wronged you. Think about the feeling of when they wronged you. Think about why you don't want that feeling. Think about what does your character need to take on to not get that feeling again. Because what always worked for me, especially when I was starting out and I was super broke, young kid, young entrepreneur, getting my game going, I had to create competition in my mind because I was always working by myself. I was always just hustling by myself. I didn't have anyone to push me. If I didn't put the work in, the bills didn't get paid. I always have been in that situation. I remember the first time I started creating enemies in my mind. I was stood on a market stall in fingerless gloves outside Harvey Nichols. And I would watch people my age walk into Harvey Nichols going shopping on a weekend, and I was stood on the markets in the freezing cold. Now, I used to look at those people, not like negatively. I didn't look at them like stare them out or all like that. But I used to think to them people, you'll see, enjoy your time now. I'm going to come up and you're going to be buying from me. The tables are going to turn. Literally in this case, because I was on a market stall, yeah? And I used to think about those people, and I used to think about people who haven't had to do the amount of work that I'm having to do. And that would give me the energy because I were always competing with them. And I knew whilst they're enjoying themselves, I'm grinding, I'm putting the work in. And what I did was I created this enemy in my mind. And again, I'm not talking about a specific person. Don't start thinking about the person that wronged you all the time, because then you're going to get into a scenario where that person controls you. I'm not saying that. Think about the emotion. Sit yourself back in there. Close your eyes, sit yourself back in there. Mentally think about it. Think about how it made you feel, because this is going to build a fire inside you. This is what's going to build a burning desire. And when you're building this fire up, this is where the motivation comes from. What you're doing is you're transforming negative energy and you're making it positive. You're making it work for you. Now, what most people do is people who wrong them, they just sit with it and they just deal with it. And then it negatively impacts their life. Well, what I did was I took people who wronged me and I used it as fuel. Now, I say the market stall situation, right? Those guys didn't wrong me. But I'm creating fuel. I'm always creating fuel. I'm always creating competition. I've had plenty of people that did wrong me, and this is still an exercise I use for them. But just think about these people, and you should be writing these down. Get a notepad and pen, write these down. And then follow through each exercise. Just take 30 minutes out and follow through and write down, physically write down the feeling of when that person wronged you, the feeling of feeling inadequate or feeling broke or feeling embarrassed. Feel it again. Get crystal clear on your why. Subscribe to the channel down below, by the way, guys. I've also got a free Discord community. Click down below, subscribe. Get crystal clear on your why. The why might be you're seeing your family struggle. It might be related to the people that wronged you. You don't want to get wronged again. You want to be the type of character who doesn't get wronged like that. Let's say if someone beat you up, you're going to take that feeling, you're going to feel it, and then you're going to think, well, why? My why is I don't want to feel like that again. Could join a gym. You could use that fuel, turn into a good fighter. This is what I'm saying. This is what a lot of people actually do. This is where winners come from. They usually come from losses and being wronged. But get crystal clear on your why. Think who you're doing it for. understand that even though the small things, even though it might just be today's workout, it might just be a little extra overtime, it might just be starting that business, even though they're so small in the beginning, because their why is so big, because you built up this why so much, the reason why you're doing it, those small steps are leading to the massive goal. What you're going to do is, if you feel unmotivated, you're going to look at the small steps as having some sort of insignificance. The only reason why they have insignificance is you don't have your why set. So when you're thinking of your why, your big massive goal, all the small steps just seem tiny. Easy work. But they are important because you've got the big goal in mind. You've got the big goal in mind. Without the big goal, you can get beat by the small steps because you don't know where those steps lead to. So it's about materializing that why in your mind. Why are you doing it? Are you doing it for your family? Have you seen your family struggle? Have you had your friends mistreat you? Have you been broke? Do you want to get rich? Why? What is the type of person you want to be? Think about the type of person you want to be. And your why might just be, I want to get rich. But don't just have the goal of, I want to get rich. Have the goal of, I want X business. I want this business to give me financial freedom, location freedom, time free, whatever it is. Get crystal clear on the why and make it big. Make it big. You have to have it big. The bigger it is, it's going to eat all the smaller tasks that's holding you back, the ones that are making you unmotivated. But when you've always got this big idea of the exact character you want to be in your mind, that is where you're going to get the unlimited motivation from. That's where you're going to build the fire from. And it's going to be unlimited. Once you get crystal clear of that why, it's like you're operating on a different time frame to everybody else. If you're from a small town and you're around loads of people you grew up with, they're all just taking day by day. But when you're working on this massive why, because the goal is so big, you're not even thinking about these little things. You're not even thinking about people's opinions. You're not even thinking about all the social norms. You're just thinking about this massive goal, and that is what you're going to get the fire from. So focus on your why. Now, number 3, if it takes 30 seconds, do it now. This is a beautiful rule. This is a beautiful rule. Once I started following this, life just got so much easier. The little tasks that you put off or you think are insignificant, you've got to think of each of those little tasks as potential distractions. Now, you can have one distraction, it can completely divert you. Let's just take, for example, the washing up. If you're not doing the washing up and it's a 30-second task or a minute job, whatever it is, you get home after work and the washing up is there to do, and you wanted to make a YouTube video that night, because you've left the washing up and now it comes to an opportunity where you're meant to be doing a massive task, which might be a YouTube channel, you going doing that washing up is changing the path, because now you might go and sit on the sofa and go on your phone. I used to not have importance on these small tasks. 30-second tasks build up, and usually it's going to come in the form of maybe your car being messy, your room being messy, your house being messy, whatever. This is breaking down your standard, your overall massive standard. And you might think, Theo, that sounds crazy. The devil is in the detail. And it's not about that just one task, but it's just about practicing the habit of not dealing with stuff straight away. And when it takes 30 seconds, it's a minor. It doesn't change your day. But you're setting your future self up with a better chance of having a more productive day. So those little 30-second tasks build up like a bastard, yeah? They accumulate. So watch those 30-second tasks like a hawk. This helped me massively. I used to be the type of kid, go home, throw his coat on the floor, messy, getting up late, putting tasks off, not doing stuff straight away, and it's going to put you in chaos. It's going to put you in a life of chaos. So if it takes 30 seconds now, get the task done. Get it out your way. We've got bigger fish to fry. You've been working on your why, right? By this stage, you've been working on your why. Now you know where you're going. So if you're letting 30-second tasks, they're like stones in the road. A stone in the road when you're in a car is probably not going to make a difference. But let's pretend you're on a bike, yeah? And there's big little stones in the road. Well, if you hit a stone, you can come off your bike. But we want a nice concrete. We want a nice piece of concrete. Yeah? We want to be going fast. We want to be going fast downhill on the bike. We don't want any stones in the way, diverting the journey. You don't want to turn the handlebars. You want to stay focused on the straight and narrow, straight level, yeah? Do it daily means fucking do it daily. Cannot stress how important this is. You don't have to do everything every day. But let's take, for example, you want to start growing on social media, right? And you make the goal of posting a short form video every day. Do it daily means do it daily. If you've told yourself you need to do it daily, you have to do it daily. It's not about taking Saturday off or, oh, I'm not really feeling it today. I went out last night. I'm tired. If you've made the decision to do it daily, you must do it daily. Now, if you're growing a YouTube channel, and let's say 365 days, you're posting videos, and one day you haven't posted, is it going to make a massive difference? Probably not. But you're telling your brain it's okay to skip. It's not okay to skip. I'm saying do it daily because I'm saying if you set the task to do it daily, do it daily. But if you set the task 3 times a week, it means 3 times a week. Stick to your word with yourself. Once you start slacking, if you're posting content every day and then you decide, oh, I'm not going to do it today. Well, if you've not done it on Wednesday and you skip on Thursday, it's a bit easier to do it because you skipped yesterday. And then Thursday turns into all weekend. Then it turns into a week. Then you change your mind about it. Now that dream's died. So do it daily. No excuses. If this comes to exercise, this comes to every area of your life where you want to improve. If you've decided you're doing it for a certain amount of time, certain amount of reps every single time, you have to do it. We're not skipping gym sessions. We're not skipping videos if that's your goal. Do it daily means do it daily. Now, this is something that held me back. Don't trial and ignore the error. So what I used to do was, being my very highly motivated self, I could just work 7 days a week for years. I really can. I've got a burning desire. But my biggest problem is, I would just work all the time, but I wasn't looking at my past 30 days, past week, past 6 months, past year, and critiquing the error. I wasn't saying, well, I've tried to do this for a set period of time. Now it's time to change. So this is the psyop that comes with consistency, right? Consistency is great, but if you're doing the wrong thing, you're doing the wrong thing consistently. So what it's about doing something for the first time, and you set amount of days where you can actually give it a chance of seeing results, and then you judge the days and then make improvements on the following time. That is a nugget right there. That is a nugget. I wish somebody told me that years ago. It would have changed my life. You need to be able to focus on what has gone wrong and make improvements. It's about trial and error. They call it trial and error because you try something. If you get the error, you trial it again with the error in mind. And when you start iterating like that, you're going to start seeing improvements a lot faster. And what comes with the improvements is more motivation because you can actually see that you're getting somewhere with the stuff that you're doing. So what I used to do was, when my business was struggling, I would still be doing the same thing over and over and over every day because I wanted to be consistent and I wanted to be motivated, and do it daily means do it daily. But I didn't make any changes. I wasn't making changes. Now, I'm not talking about a 30, 60-day period here, because let's say you're trying to grow on social media. You might need more than that. You might need way more than that. But you have to look at the previous time and look what you've been doing wrong and make adjustments. And when you start doing that, then you're actually able to see the fruits of your labor. Because if you're not, you're just going to get demotivated because what you're doing isn't working. You feel like you can't do it. You do need at some point a little bit of gratification there to say you are doing the right thing. You need some success. So trial and error. Don't ignore the error. Subscribe to the channel down below. Come on, guys. We've got a free Discord community. If you want to win, click the link down below.